Hey, I am so glad you can be here. I really, really enjoyed watching Star Wars, and if you have not watched it or you would like to watch it with me, I have a date night role play video where we watch the entire movie, and I'll link that below. The movie is not in the YouTube video, but like all the reaction stuff is, and so I do a little countdown, and so I say 3, 2, 1, play. We hit play at the same time, and then it's like we're watching it together. We laugh at the funny parts and go, oh, when it's scary, and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to make some like quality time stuff so we could watch movies together and like hang out and stuff. So if you want to watch the movie with me and you have not, I will link that below, and we can watch the movie together. And then if you want to come back here and listen to me ramble about it, you can. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. That was really fun. I have 20 questions from our wonderful friend Luke in the Discord, and such a funny coincidence, Luke and we have Luke Skywalker here in the movie. So I thought that was pretty fun. So thank you, Luke Mashpee in Discord, for sending me these 20 questions of what I thought about the movie. And before I start them, I will just say I really, really loved it, actually. And, I have sometimes a hard time following what's going on in like action movies. I don't know why, but like I just like when a lot of action's really happening fast, like it's hard for me to keep up, and I'm like, what's happening? But I really enjoyed this one, and I love the aesthetic of Star Wars. It's such a vibe. I love the whole like all the art that like I feel like every part of this movie is art, like everything from like the coloring to like the choices of the costuming and the characters created, and then their the way they did their hair and everything like that. Like I really think it's just like a really beautiful and cohesive like art piece, if that sounds kind of crazy, but like on top of just being a really fun movie. I kind of feel the same way about Stranger Things, if anyone knows what I mean. Like I feel like there's like a very cohesive like art about Stranger Things, and I feel the same way about Star Wars. So it like literally makes me want to like get a Star Wars shirt or like something, I don't know. But I think it's really cool, and I really liked it. And I will be honest, because I do have a hard time following when action is moving really fast. I did watch it a second time before doing this ramble. I watched it last night on my own because I wanted to really like get a better understanding about it before gabbing about it. And so I'm like such a nerd. I did like crazy research. Before watching it the second time, I watched like a recap video where this guy was talking about like, gave the general idea of like, what like the war was about, like what they were fighting about. I think that's what I was having a hard time with. Like I was enjoying the ride so much, but I didn't always understand what was happening. So full disclosure, I watched a YouTube video where a guy was talking about like, he kind of gave the overall, major plot points, some of them that, I just didn't really pick up on. And then also, like kind of gave some like, interesting facts that I thought were kind of fun. About like the making of it, or like how it got made and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, so I might even share. Let me take my sweater off, it's like kind of warm in here. I thought I'd share some of what I learned. So I'll throw some of those things in here while I answer these questions. So anyways, if you want to get cozy with me. I'm on my recording couch, all cozy, surrounded by some really sweet, fluffy white pillows that a wonderful friend sent to me, and a nice, fluffy white blanket. And I just feel so cozy and so excited to blab about what I thought about Star Wars. So I'm going to answer these questions, obviously in this audio, but I am so interested in your answers as well. So as I go through these questions, if you feel moved and if you have anything you want to share, like your answers, please put them in the comments of what your answer would be to these questions, if you feel moved to share, because I'm curious. I like the idea of this being like a discussion, not just me blabbing. So anyways, okay. Let's start with Luke's first question on Star Wars. Okay. 1. I didn't read these beforehand, just so you know. 1. Knowledge you have about Star Wars, if any. Basic knowledge or just memes is fine. Okay. So, I think you're asking like what knowledge I have about Star Wars. There was not much, to be honest. Like every guy I've ever known has been like obsessed with Star Wars, and I think that's great. And some girls, not too many, but I've known a couple that are really into it. And I don't think it's like just for boys, obviously. just saying, like, that's really where my knowledge of Star Wars comes from, is from like some guy friends, and like a guy I dated that was like super into Star Wars, but he actually wouldn't let me watch it with him because he was so scared that I wouldn't like it, and he said it would like hurt him too much. So little did he know I ended up liking it, but I didn't watch it with him. I did once it was on with my sister, but I was like so chatty with my sister that like we weren't really paying attention that much, and that was kind of annoying for the person that I was seeing, and I did feel bad about it, but I hadn't seen my sister in a long time, so that was kind of the most I knew about Star Wars. Obviously, it's just so a part of our culture that, like, I know who Princess Leia is. I know who, Han Solo is, and Luke Skywalker. I mean, I would mix them up for a while, but not anymore. Now I really know. And let's see, what other knowledge bases did I have about Star Wars? Not much. So, and like R2-D2 and C-3PO, like, before you even know the movie, like, those guys, like, they're so a part of like our culture, and oh my God, one of my friends has like a remote control R2-D2 that like runs around the house and like spins around and stuff, and it's like pretty big. So that's kind of cute. So anyways, so that would be my knowledge before watching the movie. My knowledge now, after watching it twice, and take this other side of my sweatshirt off. Sorry, I like took one arm out thinking it would be enough, but it wasn't. So my knowledge base now, after watching it the second time, and then also watching that YouTuber who was talking about it, is much more, and I feel proud of that. Now I know that what they were fighting about were plans. And and I had seen Rogue One. I did see Rogue One, and I loved it. I saw it when it came out in the movie theater, and I thought it was so good. And but I didn't know how it connected to this. But the YouTuber that I watched was talking about how Rogue One was the prequel, and how the main girl in Rogue One, who I loved, like, I remember she was so badass. I thought she was so cool. How her dad like had to, I think he designed the Death Star, which is like the big round spaceship that like they want to blow up. like he was like forced into designing it. So and sorry if this is a spoiler, like if you haven't seen Rogue One, like don't listen to this part, like skip ahead. And I don't remember this from the movie, but this is what the YouTuber said. He said that her dad designed the big round spaceship, the Death Star, and put like a weakness in it because he didn't want to design it. Like he was like forced to do bad things, like to do a bad thing by designing it. And so he put a weakness in the actual spaceship so that they could blow it up. And and I think he must have put it in the plans too, you know what I mean? As like, like he was so sad to have to design this thing, but he had to do a good job of it. But then he made it like, like possible to like blow it up because he didn't want it to exist at all. So, thought that was very smart and very clever. So, and very cool storytelling, like, because, like, to connect these like different like parts and like different like whole different times, like just so cool. So I now like now I know that. And so like yeah, they were the plans got to Princess Leia, and so she's like trying to like hide the plans, and like what's it called, her dad. And I only know it's her dad because it's like culturally known. What's his name? Darth Vader. Sorry. Darth Vader was like, "Where are the plans?" And she's like trying to get away with him. And then they like, they get like sucked up onto their spaceship, and they're like interrogating them and stuff. And then they get away and they get the plans, and then they go somewhere else, and then they figure out how to blow up the Death Star. And that is what I've been able to piece together of like the actual story. And I think it's pretty cool. Like, I think that's a really cool story, and I'm really sorry if I'm like getting any of this wrong. I'm like, not gonna lie, I think I kind of put off making this ramble because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get eaten alive in the comments, because I don't know, I'm not like a Star Wars expert. You know what I mean? I'm an ASMRist and a storyteller and a voice actress and a singer. So I know I'm going to get things wrong. And so I was a little bit nervous about making this, to be honest, because I know that, fandom for this is like, very serious, and I don't want to be that guy who's like pretending like I know about Star Wars and trying to be some kind of expert, and I'm not. This is just my reaction to watching it. So and that is my answer to the question of what is your knowledge about Star Wars. I also know that it has a super bomb soundtrack. The score is so good. I love, like, it's so epic, you know what I mean? Like I think that is so good, and I loved listening to that. And also the fun song at the bar, that is super good. So that is my answer to number 1, knowledge you have about Star Wars, if any. Okay. 2, did you enjoy the movie? Yes, I did, very much, actually. Like I said, the first time I watched it, even though I didn't really understand exactly what was going on, I enjoyed the ride. You know what I mean? I just love like a group of people coming together, you know what I mean? They're bonding over this crazy situation, making friends, some of them clearly liking each other, and like, just this wild adventure. I thought it was really cool. And like I said, I love the music and the aesthetic and everything about it. So it was really, really good. Okay, favorite part. I would say when the Death Star blew up. Sorry for any spoilers, but it was just like very cathartic, you know what I mean? It's like, that's like, you know, when that's all they were trying to do, and it was so hard. And so it was really good. And so when it blew up, I was like, yes, like I was so like, excited. And then I also, this is awful, but like I thought it was a really pretty explosion. Like, you know what I mean? Like it like sparkled and like had all this like really, you know, cool like rings around it and stuff. So it was like very cathartic, but it was also just like, it was a beautiful explosion. So it did make me a little sad because there's probably like people on it that like didn't want to be on it, you know what I mean? But it's a movie, so I tried not to think about that part. But let's see that. Yeah, I would say that that is my favorite part. What was yours? Tell me in the comments if you feel like it. My least favorite part. Okay, so my least favorite part is when Luke finds out his aunt and uncle, their place was like blown up. Very similar to my least favorite part in Spider-Man when spoilers if you haven't seen the first Spider-Man. It was similar to like when his uncle died. That was like really sad, and I just hate that. I hate tragedies. I've had enough of them in my real life. I just like, I don't even like them in movies because I'm like, oh my God, guys, I'm like trying to get over my own trauma. I don't want to like watch like fake trauma. But I understand it's important for storytelling, but it made me sad. And then I don't totally feel like, this is my maybe one gripe with the movie, is like I don't feel like there was like enough time where it showed his mourning. Like I'm sure it existed. I'm sure like he mourned, like, you know, in the moments we didn't really see on camera. But you know, like I guess he also kind of jumped straight to like anger and action, which I do kind of get too. But like, yeah, it felt like it was kind of breezed over a little bit. But I don't know how to make movies, so who am I to say? But yeah, so I would say that would be my least favorite part. And then even though like I actually think this is a really good scene, and I don't think they should have like not done this, it was just the hardest one to watch for me was the like trash compactor scene when they when they all got into the trash compactor room, and like, you know, there was like that like tentacle guy like pulling Luke down into the water and like strangling him, and that was really scary. But then like the most scary thing to me was the walls caving in. That is like my nightmare. It's like, to me, like the scariest thing. And so just the stakes were so high that it was kind of hard to watch that scene, but like I think they wrote it really well. I think they did a good job. And then like, you know, Luke being able to get C-3PO on the phone to get him to stop it was so smart. So it was, I don't know, it was not my least favorite scene, but it was like the one that was hardest to watch for me. So there's that. Favorite character, easy peasy, Princess Leia. I love her. Oh my God. She is so badass. So badass. I love that. Like, she had a line, I even wrote it down. Let me find it. That I thought was so good. Oh yeah, when she's like, somebody has to save our skins. I thought that was so good. And I like that she's like a super tough girl. And that movie was made a really long time ago. Like, I think it came out in like 1977. And like, I don't know, like maybe I haven't watched a lot of movies from the 70s, but like, I'm assuming that it's like maybe it wasn't that common back then to like have like a female lead that's so like just strong and like badass, and like she's the one who's like, you know, figuring stuff out and like saving people and stuff. And I used to think that was really cool. My second favorite character, I know you didn't ask, but I'm just gonna tell you anyway, was I think Han Solo, just because he's such a twerp. he's a great character, so much fun. And but yeah, I definitely I liked his little quips and stuff. I did learn from this YouTuber guy that in the original movie, because I watched the one on Disney Plus that has like the new like CGI stuff. I guess in the original movie, in the bar scene where that alien is trying to get money from him, I guess he shoots the alien first before the alien shoots him. And like, that's actually kind of what it felt like when I was watching anyway. So in that moment, I didn't like him because I was like, hey, like, you owe that alien money. You shouldn't be killing him. But at least I guess they like redeemed his character by making the alien shoot first. But aside from that, if anyone listens to my ASMR audio stories, you might know why I enjoy Han Solo's character so much. I just like a good, like ridiculous, like bratty kind of character. So I very much enjoyed that. So that would be, he would be my second favorite character, but Princess Leia for sure is my first. And you didn't ask about my third, but I'm going to tell you that one too. It's little R2D2. I just think he's so cute, and it's like amazing how much just some beeps can be adorable. How is that even possible that like beeps can be so adorable? And like a little machine, like how did they do that? How did they make a little like robot machine be so stinking cute? I don't know, but he won my heart. So anyway, what are your favorite characters? I'm curious. Okay, least favorite character. I feel like people are gonna get mad at me for saying this. Okay, I will start by saying that this is a hard question because I really liked all of the characters, even the bad ones, because you gotta have like evil characters and stuff sometimes to tell stories. So but the one that I found myself yelling at during the movie the most and saying, hey, that's mean, stop it, was actually C-3PO. And I love his character. It is part of the movie. It should be there. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying that I found myself yelling at him the most because he's so mean to R2D2. Like, and then like, then he acts like so like protective of him one minute, but like super like demanding and rude to him the next. And I'm like, leave little R2 alone. Come on. Yeah. And he's got that like kind of like what's the word? Like I don't know, he's almost like a proper kind of, like dorky, like older guy kind of vibes. And so I don't know, I just didn't know why he couldn't be nicer to R2D2. But aside from that, I did enjoy his character, but he's the one that I found myself yelling at the most. So anyway, who's your least favorite character? 7, most annoying character. Oh no, I feel like that's the same answer. Okay, because it's not that I don't like C-3PO. I just found it annoying that he was so mean to R2D2. So, let me think if there's anyone else I didn't like. Oh, I didn't really like that guy at the bar, who had the only thing exposed about him is his chin. It was like a weird monster character, and he like starts a fight with Luke. His friend is like, my friend doesn't like you, or something like that. And they start a big fight. I thought just he was really gross to look at. So I guess that could go into that category. But otherwise, like I felt like they all served a purpose, and yeah, I enjoyed them. So who did you think was the most annoying? Let's see. opinions on the protagonist, Luke Skywalker. I thought he was great. I thought it's like a very what I liked about his character was that he was like this normal kid, you know what I mean? Like pulled out of his home. Like he didn't have this big backstory of like, you know, whatever. He's like part of, you know, the Empire or this big alliance or whatever. He's just a guy in his home, like living with his aunt and uncle. He doesn't really know about his past. Like it's just normal, you know? And he's like kind of got that like almost like a little bit of a Moana spirit where he's like, you know, like what's out there, like, you know, where's, you know, where am I from kind of thing. And then when he gets these clues, you know, about like his dad and like, you know, what's going on with this like message inside the R2, and you know, his aunt and uncle are like, forget about it, just like don't think about it. And he kind of can't. He's like, oh, I can't really shake it. Like, what's going on? And I don't know. It just felt like a very cool, like hero's journey. You know what I mean? Like, going from being, you know, just like at home with your family to like, shoot, you got to really step up and like go save, you know, planets from being destroyed and like, you know, help this princess who, you know, looks like she really needs a hand and stuff. And so, yeah, I thought he was great. And I thought he did such a good job as, like the actor, Mark Hamill. I thought he did such a good job. And, yeah, so I thought he was great. All right. Opinions on the antagonist, Darth Vader. I feel like we didn't spend a lot of time with him in this movie. Like maybe I get to know him more in other movies, but I thought he was scary and big and bad. Let's see what else I think of him. He has a really cool deep voice. He could like be a really great VA if he wanted to. Just kidding. But, I think he did great. And as far as I know, because I watched the video about Star Wars stuff, I know James Earl Jones voiced him, but somebody else played him because he was like really tall. And I watched this video and they were saying that one of the things that was crazy about getting this movie made was, I guess George Lucas like wanted this like basically all unknown cast. So I guess like Han Solo, I always forget the name of the guy who plays him. What's his name? Well, you know, if you're listening to this video, you know who plays Han Solo. I guess he was in like one movie, like the only movie that George Lucas made before this. And so he was like sort of, you know, like he had some notoriety, but I guess like everyone else was like pretty unknown. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, you know, the fact that like right now, you know, like these are such Harrison Ford. Oh my God, so stupid. So, you know, now these are like, you know, so famous people, like they're so like, you know, just held in like the highest esteem ever of, you know, meeting Mark Hamill for most people would be like, you know, the most like amazing experience of their life. But like before this movie was made, like most of them were unknown. Oh yes. And so I thought of that because I think it was either the guy who played who walked around in the Darth Vader costume, maybe not James Earl Jones, like he might not have been it, or it was the guy who played Chewie. I don't remember. But this YouTuber was saying that one of them was literally just like a really tall guy who was like on a set, or like maybe he was an extra or something. And like George Lucas or somebody in casting or something was like, hey, you're really tall. Can you get in this costume and be this guy in this movie? And like their life changed. like completely changed forever. Just because they were like standing in the right place at the right time and were really tall. And I think that is so crazy and I just love it. So I think that's a really fun Star Wars fact. But anyway, that's something, those are my thoughts on Darth Vader. Really scary, really cool. I think it's neat that he was unknown, same with Luke Skywalker and most of them. And I think it's cool that whoever was in his outfit, or it was Chewbacca, I forget, was just like a random person that they were like, hey, you're really tall. Can you come be in this outfit for us? I think that's really cool. And let me get a little bit more comfy. My leg is falling asleep. Okay, that is so much better. Okay. So, oh my gosh, we're on question 10 already. We're almost halfway through. Okay, opinions on the Force. May the Force be with you and also with you. So I'd always kind of wondered what the Force was, and it was nice to get that explanation from old Ben. And it just kind of being, you know, this like big force of the universe, kind of just energy and all that. I think it's cool. I don't entirely totally understand it still, but I kind of get the gist. I think it's like using your focus to like harness the like energy in like the world, I'm assuming. And I think part of it is maybe a little bit metaphorical, like, you know, like mustering your own courage inside, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. With a little bit of magic. So I don't know. So that's my opinion of the Force. I think it's cool. I was a little bit confused on it at some moments, but in general, I think it's very cool. All right. Any opinions about the design and aesthetic? Oh yes. I maybe I should have held off on my thoughts in the beginning. That's probably like one of my favorite things about the movie. Is I just love the whole Star Wars aesthetic. I think it's so cool. It's just got such a vibe, and it's like a beautiful art design. So I think that's really neat. And in terms of like set design, I'm blown away. Like I was looking up like where it was filmed, and like a lot of it was in Tunisia and Guatemala and stuff. And I just think that's really neat that like they went all the way out there to film these different scenes, and it's so worth it. Like, I mean, the what's the word? Production value of those settings is like so, it looks so worth it. Oh my God. Like those deserts and like just the crazy like crater type areas, like it really looks like another planet. And I just think that's so cool. I thought the the costumes everyone had were so interesting and so like iconic, and it's just like, it's not something like if I were like, okay, I gotta design a costume for like the lead princess in a movie, it would never occur to me to get her this like white dress that is so like are you guys gonna eat me alive for this? But it reminds me of like what the Kardashians were all wearing like 5 years ago, when they were just like pretty much just wearing like long sleeve white dresses like all the time. And like that is basically a Princess Leia outfit. And it would never occur to me to like put the badass princess in something like that. And it's just so iconic. Or to like put her hair in 2 buns on the side of her head. Like what? Like who came up with that and was like, let's try that. That might be interesting. Like, and it's so random, but it's so iconic. Like it is like, I mean, no one else does that ever in life. And like, if you see someone with two buns on each side of their head, like even before, way before I even, saw Star Wars, when it was just on when I was at my sister's, like, it is it's so iconic that like you wouldn't think of anything else, except for Princess Leia. You know what I mean? You're not just like, oh, I just randomly have two buns on the side of my head because I just feel like it. Like, no, like you are doing Princess Leia hair, and I think that's really neat. And yeah, in general, like all their costumes were really cool, and like Darth Vader, like that's just such a wild villain costume, you know what I mean? So they're just so interesting. So yeah, I that's what I thought of the design and aesthetic. I thought it was just so strong and creative, you know what I mean? Like it's just different from anything you really ever see. So that is my answer to that. What do you all think about the design and aesthetic? Okay, was there anything I didn't like about the movie? I do usually like a little bit more of a romantic element. I wouldn't have changed it though. Like, I don't think this movie, also because it's so clear that it is the start of a series, and there were enough like hints of an enemies to lovers trope starting up between Hans and Leia. He says some funny things. I wrote down one of them. So funny when he goes to Luke. He goes at the end, he's like, so what do you think? You think a princess and a guy like me? And Luke is just like, no. I just think it was so funny. And like, oh yeah, then he says, Hans said another thing I wrote down that I thought was funny. Let me find it. He says, oh yeah, he says, either I'm gonna kill her or I'm beginning to like her. And I was like, oh, enemies to lovers. I don't know. I actually don't know what's gonna happen because I have not seen the other ones yet. I don't know. Maybe I do hope to see them get together, but I hope it takes some, little, I don't know, little push pull. But yeah. So so the question was, is there anything I didn't like about the movie? I would say maybe I do like a movie that has more of a romantic element, but again, I wouldn't change this because this is not a romance movie. So, but I can't think of anything I like didn't like about it. I don't remember ever being like, oh, this part is so boring or anything like that. And I think I just liked it. So, but yeah, so that's my answer. Did you guys like, is there anything you didn't like about it? Okay. Question 13. Anything that didn't make sense to you? One thing. But again, I don't totally understand the Force. I think it's just like, harnessing the energy of the world. But when, spoiler, when Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are fighting with their little swords, with their lightsabers, and what's his name? Darth Vader hits Obi-Wan with his lightsaber, and he like disappears into his costume, like his body disappears. In that moment, I was like, okay, where did his body go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he killed him, like, why did his body disappear? So I'm not totally convinced that he killed him. Maybe Obi-Wan is like magic or something, and he's so good at the Force that he can like disintegrate his body, because then you hear him talking to Luke in his head like right after that. So I don't think he like died, you know what I mean? And like, but Luke is so sad because of course, like, Obi-Wan, it's like his last connection to home, and, he's gone. But I'm not like totally convinced that Obi-Wan is dead, because where did his body go, and how did he keep talking to Luke? Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he just turned into like a moth or something. I don't know. So that is the only thing that I think didn't make sense to me. Question 14. Where do you see the rest of this story going? Okay, so I see Darth Vader is really pissed off. Like, you blew up my biggest spaceship. You are in so much trouble. So I think Darth Vader is really, really mad at them, and he's gonna hunt them down in space. And like, space is so big, so I feel like they should be able to get away from him. But I feel like he's gonna find them, and he's gonna be like, why did you blow up my spaceship, you jerks? And then he's gonna like try to kill them, but then he's like not gonna want to kill them, because as we all know from just cultural references, like, Luke and Leia are his kids. So he's not just going to kill them, right? Like, that's a weird thing to do. So he's probably going to, like, I don't know. Okay. I think he's going to keep them hostage and somehow make them work on rebuilding his big spaceship. And then Han Solo is going to be like, where are my friends Luke and Leia? I can't find them. And I have such a crush on Leia, because she's really like pretty and badass, and like she's really fun to fight with. So I think I want to date her. And so he's going to get like Chewie and, R2-D2 and C-3PO. And they're going to go and like save Luke and Leia from Darth Vader. And then that will be the end of the next movie, is Han Solo saving them. And then but then at the end of that movie, Han Solo and Leia are totally gonna kiss, because then they're gonna fight and they're gonna fight and they're gonna fight, and then they're gonna smooch, and that's how the movie's gonna end. And I think that's where it's going. So tell me if I'm close. Okay. Let's see, I would ask you also where you think it's going, but I have a feeling if you're listening to this ramble, you probably already know. Okay, let's see. 15. What did you think about the movie before watching it? Honestly, I always liked the vibe of Star Wars stuff. Like, I think it's a really cool art. So whenever, like, you're in an antique shop or whatever, and you see like old Star Wars toys and stuff, it's like, that's some cool looking stuff, you know what I mean? So I always had a respect for it. And so many of my my role play audios, I very often play like kind of a mean girl who's like making fun of nerds and like nerd stuff and stuff. But in reality, I have a high respect for people who have like fandom. I think it's fun. I think it makes life fun. So even though it's never been something I've gravitated towards, I kind of tend to like either like more romantic stuff or like psychological thriller, weird things. So I have not been part of this fandom. Like, I have a big respect for fandoms in general. And I love, when people are excited and passionate about something. So whether it's something that I care about or not, like, I don't care about sports at all. Like, I played some growing up. I played like some basketball and like cross country and stuff, but I never got into it. And I don't like sports can be on the television and I can be looking at it and I don't even take in what's happening. Like, I just don't care. But I love that people love it. And I love that it brings people together. And I love that, like, it gives people like something to be excited about and look forward to, and, you know, celebrate when their team wins, and like, you know, or, you know, find good sportsmanship when their team loses. And like, you know, it teaches, you know, I don't know, people about like working together and stuff. You know, people who have fandoms of other kinds of things. I'm trying to think what other big fandom things I can think of. You know, there's like a big like Jane Austen fandom, which I don't know if I would consider myself completely in, but I love that stuff. But there's like a big fandom for it. You know, cons, anime, you know, stuff like that. Like, even though I may not like actually participate in it, I just love seeing people like be really excited about whatever they're excited about. Like, the world has enough like dark things going on, and like, you know, haters and like sad things. So like, when I see people getting super stoked about something, that just makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like, that's the good stuff in the world. So, my opinion of the movie before I watched it was, that one, I liked the aesthetic, and two, I just think it's nice, like, seeing people really excited about a thing. And I assumed there had to be a reason. Like, you know, kind of every movie's gonna have people who like it, but when this many people are this like die-hard fans for it, there's got to be a reason, right? There's got to be some substance there, that this thing is not just like, you know, a stupid movie about space. Like, clearly there's a reason, and there is. And so, you know, I watched it and I found the reason myself. So, and it's cool because I don't know that I ever would have watched this movie if it weren't for you guys. Like, you know, we did a little votes on what we're going to watch on my channel for these movie dates. And you all voted like, I think it was like like a totally like, you know, landslide vote for Star Wars when we put it on the ballot. And so you guys like pushed me to watch it, and I never probably, to be honest, would have on my own. So thank you for sharing it with me. So yeah, so that's my answer to that. Okay, let's see. Any opinion that changed after watching it? Trying to think. I didn't realize. It's just realizations. There's not, because I didn't have a negative opinion about it. You know, again, like my like mean girl characters, like I'm, you know, I don't think I'm really mean in real life. Like, you know, I think it's fun to like play with those characters, you know. So one of my characters may have been like, oh, this is like a nerd movie. But I don't think that way, you know. So maybe it wasn't for me, but now, you know, maybe it is, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I do want to, you know, check out more of the movies. And I really liked Rogue One. Like, it was really good. So, I would say my mind is a little more open to the franchise. How about that? We will say. I'm not saying I want to, like, you know, sit down and watch every Star Wars movie ever made. I'm not saying that, but like, I'm more open to, you know, like more just like, you know, like when I see Star Wars stuff in like the Disney store or something, I'm going to be like, oh, yay, I know that. I know what that means now. You know what I mean? So I would say my mind is a little bit more open to it as something that I enjoy. So let's see. What's next? 17. How many things that turned into memes did you spot? That's such a good question. That's a really good question. Like, you know, just in general, like, to me, the whole movie was a meme. You know what I mean? Like, use the Force and like, may the Force be with you and stuff. Like, you know, on Star Wars Day, isn't it like May 3rd or something? Yeah, May the 4th. No, May the 4th. it's always fun, because people always say, may the force be with you. And then you always answer it like you do at church, and also with you. So I think that was definitely a meme in my head. I wrote down a couple things. Oh yeah, the not the droids you are looking for. That line I felt like was a meme that I'd seen before. I took some notes when I watched it. In general of like things that were familiar. Oh yeah, the disturbance in the force. There's been a disturbance in the force. I feel like I'd seen that around. Oh yeah, and then like the bar scene. So maybe not a meme, but I feel like they're like fun, like do 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 do. The bar. I feel like there's a name for it. I don't remember. But in like Luke's planet or whatever, you all know what I'm talking about. That whole scene, I feel like I've seen it parodied so many times, like referenced or whatever. I feel like, like just that scene is like such a like part of, like the fabric of our culture, you know what I mean? Pop culture. So, seeing like the real scene where it came from, I do feel like that kind of felt like seeing, the origin of a meme or something like that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else, that felt memey. Maybe just like seeing the spaceships, those spaceships, like, I wouldn't even say meme, but like, I feel like I've seen, like models of those kinds of spaceships so many times at like, Lego stores and, like antique shops, that sell the old toys and just like, just in general, you know what I mean, on t-shirts and stuff. So, it was kind of fun to see where that all came from. So yeah, that would be my answer to that. Do you guys know of any memes that I missed? Okay, 18. Would I watch the rest of the movies? Yes, I would. I think this, like I said before, like the thing that changed, my opinion that changed would be that, I probably wouldn't have ever put this on myself. And now I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I do actually kind of want to see where this goes. So, I do think I would like to watch the rest of them. Would you like to watch the rest of them with me? I think it would be fun. So totally. And, I'm curious if you guys could tell me in the comments, like, I know like the old ones, like there was 3 old ones that were made, and then there were like new ones that were made that were like, I think they were all prequels, or maybe there was like one movie about Han Solo, right? And that was like not a prequel, and I saw Rogue One and I loved it. But aside from Rogue One, do you guys think that the newer ones are worth watching? Because I have heard different things from different Star Wars fans saying like that they don't like them, or they don't consider them canon, and then other people that were like, no, they're really good. But I'm curious, like if you're watching this, you might be more of like a diehard Star Wars fan. So if you think that they are worth watching, let me know. But I would definitely at least like to see the 3 older ones, because I thought, if this one was that good, then like I'm sure that the originals are all that good. So yes, I would like to watch the rest of the movies. 19, we are almost done here. Okay, anything that I want to say before wrapping this up? Yes, I made some notes, but I may have said most of them already, but things that I learned and things that I like thought were interesting watching it. Okay, so I wrote down that I thought it was really cool that it was a mostly unknown cast. I thought that was like a very brave like choice. You know what I mean? Like so many people like when you make a movie, you want to make sure that like you have like big stars in it to make sure the movie sells, but they clearly had enough like confidence in the story and the way that they were going to tell it, that they felt confident in bringing on these newer actors that like clearly are so ridiculously talented, and my gosh, it just like made them all like blow up as like these huge stars, and I think it's really cool. I also learned that another thing, and I guess like George Lucas kind of had to like really convince the studio to make that happen, like, because you know they wanted bigger stars too, but he was like, no, like these are the people, and he fought for them. I think that's cool. And then he also, I guess, fought to have the opening the way the opening is, which is so iconic, right? Like that's a meme. Okay, you're asking about memes. That's a meme right there. Just the way the credits, you know, came in. And I guess George Lucas had to like fight the studio, and I guess also some like legal stuff, because I guess it was like kind of the law to have credits at the beginning of the movie. And ordinarily I would say like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense, because you want people to be, you know, credited, and like, you know, people don't always stay for the credits at the end, like you want them at the beginning. Totally get that. But this was like part of the film for him, was to have it come directly in, you know, to that like whizzing like thing, and the letters, like the words going across the screen like that. And like if he had to do that alongside credits, like I don't think it would like look as good, and it wouldn't be like so dramatic, right? Like, so I thought that that was kind of cool, that he was like, no, like this is my art, like this is the way I want it to appear. And he had to fight for that, and like, you know, it is sad for you know, the people, you know, the credits being at the end. I totally get that, but like, you know, this is his art piece as well, so he wanted it the way he wanted it. And I just thought that was a really interesting fact. So, and then I thought like, okay, so I did recognize when the special effects were CGI, because there was like one point I was watching and I was like, there's no way, this is 1977, there's no way they had like this giant like dinosaur looking thing like moving like that. And I was right, because I thought I had heard about that too, like they were redoing it or something, or they redid it. So that new CGI stuff obviously wasn't 1977, but so much of this movie, the version I watched, you know, the newer CGI redone version on Disney Plus, I thought the special effects that were like old were incredible for 1977. Like, I don't think that they were making movies with that kind of crazy special effects back then, and I thought it was really cool. I really liked the kind of puppet looking people. I kind of enjoyed them more than the CGI, to be honest, but I get that, like, you know, like George Lucas probably had this in his head a certain way, and he just like couldn't make it that way back then, and he can finally make it the way he wants it. I totally respect that. But for me, it was a little bit more fun to watch, like to see the like older looking stuff, the stuff that looked more like puppets, or like you know, people in costumes and stuff like that. Those little was it like Wookiees or something like that, the people in the brown bathrobes that were like running around like trying to steal R2-D2 and like sell them. Like, they were so funny. You know, I don't know, I just thought that was fun. And just the special effects in general, I thought were pretty impressive for 1977. So yeah, and let's see, I wrote down that I loved the music. and see if there was anything else. Oh, I know. I wrote down one thing. And this may not mean anything to you guys unless you're in our Discord, but there was a scene in the bar where I think it was the bar. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but there was a scene where people were playing chess, and the like chess game pieces were like moving around on their own, right? So it was like a board game or something, and it reminded me so much of in our Discord, one of our wonderful mods, Trip, has these things called Warhammers, and they're like these like figurines that you like paint or whatever. And it reminded me of those. Like I thought they looked like those little Warhammer figures. So I don't know if they're based on that or not, but I was like, wait a second. I feel like I've seen those in Discord. So I'm probably wrong, but they kind of just reminded me of it. So I thought that was interesting. And let's see if there's anything else I wrote down. Oh, yes. And that YouTuber, I also learned from him that when Luke and Leia like jump off of that, like when they're like running away from the guys wearing the big white costumes, what are they called? Stormtroopers. When they were like running away from stormtroopers, and then they like they're on a ledge and they're trying to get to the other ledge because the stormtroopers are gonna like kill them on the other side of the door. And they grab this like cord and they jump across. I learned from this YouTuber, I don't know for sure if they're right, but they said that they really did that they just grabbed that cord and, you know, he held on to Princess Leia and jumped, and like that like totally freaked me out. Like I know like special effects like didn't have its not special effects, but like stunts like didn't have its like strict regulations back then, but like, oh my god, like that's just like crazy to me that like he really did that. Like he really just like grabbed her and held the cord and jumped. Like what? So that's what they said anyway. I feel like they had to have been wearing some kind of like safety, what's those things that like Pink uses, when she's like doing her acrobatics and stuff at her concerts, like wearing like a safety strap that's like a cord or something like that. But anyway, that YouTuber said that they did not use anything and that jump was real. And I thought that was crazy. So yeah, that was something I wrote down because I thought it was crazy. Anyways, that is all I can think of. Anything I want to say before wrapping this up? Yeah, I think that's it. I really liked it. I didn't know what I would think. I was nervous about watching it because I was like, what if I don't like it? But I did like it. It was really good and I could watch more. So, okay, the last question for our 20 questions is, what would I do if I could use the Force? That is a very good question. I feel like I would use the Force to force world peace. Although, like, something about the word forced in world peace, like it sounds bad, like it's I'm forcing you to be peaceful. I don't know. I feel like I would try to do something good for the whole world. I don't know. I'd use the Force to create enough food for everybody, and air conditioners for people in like areas that don't have them. I don't know. I would use the Force to keep mean people away from me. I would, let's see. I don't know. What would you do? What would you do if you had the Force? Maybe we do have the Force. Like, I feel like the Force is like, inside of all of us, isn't it? I don't know. But yeah. I think I would just use it for like making the world a nicer place, because that would also come back to me, because then I would live in a nice place too. So I would make it so that everyone got along and there was enough food for everybody, and the like fighting and wars and stuff would stop. So that's all I can think of, because I'm not currently in any major battle. Can the Force cure diseases? Because there's some diseases I would like to see eradicated. I don't know. What would you do? I don't know. I guess I will use the Force to ask you all what movies we should watch next, and I'm using the Force right now to get you guys to give me some good ideas, especially for Halloween, of movies that we should vote on for the next movie date. That's my answer. So anyways, thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. This has been really fun, and I feel like I'm a little bit more educated on a subject that I know is very important to you, and if it's important to you, it is important to me. So I feel like I'm getting to know you a little bit more, you all, like through things that you care about, and you guys care about Star Wars so much. Like now I feel like a little bit more like, I don't know, part of your world. So I'm gonna have to watch a Disney princess one next, huh? Yeah, I like this kind of a way to I don't know, spend some quality time and get to know things that are important to you. So this has been fun. Thank you guys also for the amazing support on I recently put out my first single, an original song I wrote called Eerie, on a music channel I just started, and I can link that below too. And so thank you so much for the amazing support on that. I mean, it's gotten like already over 2,000 plays. I'm just mind blown. So incredibly thankful. And I'm just thankful for all your support in general. That's why I've been doing this little thankathon this week of putting out audios every day for a week. It's such a challenge on my end, but it's really cool. It's like kind of pushing me to do things that I've either like had on the back burner for a long time or been like hesitant on, like this ramble I was hesitant on because I've been a little scared that, my ignorance of the Star Wars world will get me some angry comments, and that's okay, I understand, but I've been nervous about it, and but anyways, it's been like pushing me a little bit more, and I think that's really good for me, and so anyway, hope you've been enjoying the thankathon, and it's just all because I just really want to thank you guys so much for your support. I've been doing this now for like a year and a half almost, and from when I started doing it to today, my entire life has changed like for the better, like times a million, and I'm just beyond thankful, beyond. You guys are the reason I was able to start renting a place again. I was house sitting for the longest time just to try to save money and, staying with family and stuff. And I was able to put out that song because of your support. I'm just beyond grateful. Like, I'm so grateful. So I wanted to do this thankathon to just pour my heart out and let you know how much I love you. So I'm going to give you a big hug before we go. Big squeeze. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Love you so much. Bye.